Thank you for joining me today on the Daily Reflection. We're going to be using the OSHO ZEN Tarot deck, and I was looking a little bit further today at the energy of self-sabotage and the energy of self-healing. And it's very interesting. I was really looking at where we can get angry about choices and circumstances that we directly created. And a lot of times what I see is that we kind of have crafted our own gilded cage, kind of crafted our own set of limits and boxes and definitions for ourselves that at one time fit very comfortably, and maybe right now feel a bit constricted and they feel a bit limiting, and so we rail against them, we try to bust out of them, and yet really the door to the cage is open. All we have to do is leave, but the thought of leaving that cage is as difficult, or as not constrictive, maybe too expansive, but opposite of that constricted energy of staying in the cage. So neither one is comfortable, and then we fight against it, and that's where we'll put into play things that match that leaving the cage and expanding out into the open, but then we can engineer self-sabotage energy that says, no, this is your definition, this is where you live, these are the rules, and forces us, but we simultaneously put into play things that keep us in the cage. Kind of a variation on that split we were looking at the other day. But and then self-healing, I just was very blessed to witness and experience a client of mine reunite part of herself that she had split off with the intention of protecting that part of her. And I got to watch her work with that energy and bring it back and reintegrate it right into all of her other energy. And instead of separating it and hiding it to protect it, she integrated it and made it the center of her being and protected it that way. And it was just the most beautiful thing to watch. And so those were the two energies I was looking at today, was that self-sabotage and self-healing, and just how capable we are of really influencing and creating everything that we're experiencing. And oftentimes we don't appreciate that ability that we have enough, I think. So, all right, I'm going to pray while I shuffle it. May it be at the blessings of the Supreme Being that whatever happens during this card reading benefit each of us in our spiritual growth, awareness, and understanding. And that'll be applicable to whoever finds it in the timing they find it, and that it will resonate clearly with them. All right. So, and the card is Innocence. It's a major arcana card in this deck. It is 19. Yeah. And this is a card, looking at it energetically, really matches that integration of wholeness, and finding that inner child and the part of you that was curious with no fear, that was full of love and connection for the world, that had never experienced hurt, never experienced pain, never experienced any of those conditions and circumstances that causes us to go into defense. And so when I'm looking at this card of Innocence, it is about reclaiming those pieces that you've isolated, or those pieces that you've walled off, or those pieces that you just don't want to acknowledge have been judged or have been hurt. Or you acknowledge them, but you don't really want to have to experience them or figure out how to heal them. And that's okay. It's your choice. You don't have to reintegrate all the parts, but I just see that is the energy of this card, is embracing that inner child portion of you that was fearless, curious, all loving, just expansive, and wanted to see how far, how wide, how deep, how colorful something could be and go, and wanted to examine all the details of it and test it out. And remember that enthusiasm and that playfulness that part of you has, and bring it back into center, and bring it back into focus, and really bring it back into play, into the way you live your life right now, here today. So that's the daily reflection for today. Thank you for joining me, and we'll be back tomorrow to do the weekend reading. Take care. Have a blessed day.